This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gab-fed show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Opinions expressed. Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Join Terry with Tracer Rounds every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central to hear interviews with veteran artists, veteran business owners, and businesses that support veterans. Tune in to see if you're on target. Catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and MB Radio, giving veterans a voice.
Hi, welcome to Tracer Rounds. I'm your host, Terry, and you're on MBR, and we are giving veterans a voice. And tonight we were scheduled to interview with Dallas Alexander, but he actually has a performance tonight and tomorrow, and he had a rehearsal tonight that just came up, and so he was having to decline for tonight, but hopefully he'll be on another show coming up in the near future. And so I had a friend on standby who was going to come and talk to us, but he is having the farm life troubles. So hopefully he'll be able to jump on, but I'm not quite sure yet. I think it involves a tractor, a hay rake, and some donkeys. So we'll have to hear about that if he's able to jump on. But animals do what they want, and equipment sometimes does what it wants. So we do the best we can do, and we just carry on. So what I thought I wanted to do, I wanted to kind of talk about some upcoming shows that I have with some really cool guests. I mean, not that my guests so far haven't been very cool, because they've all have their unique part to play in the veteran community, and they all have their unique voice and their unique style and their perspective on things. And so each one of them has been interesting. I was interviewed recently for an upcoming podcast, and someone asked me, well, what's my favorite kind of guest? Well, my favorite kind of guest is a guest that's passionate about what they're selling, about what they're doing, about their mission, about their focus, about just their life in general, just focused, and they're aware of their situation and their surroundings, and they want to bring others into that awareness and into that happiness. And so what I really wanted to do right now is give a shout out to all the hosts of MBR, because they have that enthusiasm, they have that passion, they have that drive. They're making a difference in the veteran community, and they're making a difference in the lives of the hosts. I can see so much progression, so much increased awareness, so much increased passion for giving each other support and engaging them in conversation, engaging them in being on different shows, and just really building that community that we as veterans sometimes miss when we get out of the military. We don't always have that connectivity and that connection with one another that we used to have and that we used to find so important. And so I want to give, hello, Eva. Hello, Joel. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I'm hopefully going to have my guest on. His name is retired Master Sergeant Terry Hutchins, and I worked with him in Oklahoma City in the JOC at the state Joint Force headquarters in Oklahoma City. And so he's a very interesting guy, and he rides Harleys, and he was a mayor, and he was a National Guard Army veteran, and he's got stories. So I'm hopeful that, and he's been to Sturgis, so we might have to ask about Sturgis. If you've never been to Sturgis, it's quite a place. I've been there, but I didn't go for the bike rally. So that's good because it's a little crazy about that time. But I wanted to talk about too, after giving the shout out to all the hosts, and I truly mean what I say when I say it's a community, it's a support network, and we are all here to support you, the listener, and you, the veteran. And so if you need help, need support, reach out to MBR, reach out to a host here, or reach out to our email, contact us through our MBR website, and just let us know how we can help you, because that's really what we're here for. We're giving the veterans a voice every day. Every day we have shows. Every day we have veteran hosts that talk about topics that are relevant to us as a community. And so I just want to really get that word out there and let people know that that's what we do here, that we're passionate. And we got Tony from Inside the Hoosier Mind. I missed his show tonight, so I'll have to watch it on replay. Sorry, Tony. But I was trying to find a guest, so I apologize. But I wanted to play a song by Die Tired, and they're going to be on the show because they're going to, not till November though. Not November, February. Sorry. They're going to be on in February, and they're coming out with new music. And so I wanted to play one of their songs now so that we could kind of see what Die Tired's all about. And they're a veteran band. And so I'm going to play their song, and then we'll be right back.
Honestly, hold on, things are dizzy, spinning rapidly. To miss another beat is such a tragedy. Now this moment feels like all eternity. It should feel so comfortable. It's all in the secrets of the open heart club. Tear it down, there is no need to scream and shout. When everything seems crazy, reflection now. A peace of mind should not include deception's help. It should feel so comfortable. All eyes stare into the scene, leaving bad taste in our memories. How can we all find change? It's all in the secrets of the open hearts. secrets of our open hearts. Love, oh, honestly.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome back to Trace Arounds, and you're on MBR, where we're giving veterans a voice. And you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Twitter, you can find us on X, you can find us on Twitch, LinkedIn, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. We're everywhere. We want to be more places, though. So if you got the hookup, contact us and let us be on your platform. We're ready to get the message out about veterans and their voices and their need to be inclusive of everybody that's out there that needs support. We don't want 22 veterans a day to be lost, or any veterans to be lost. One's too many. So we're out there trying to share our message and trying to share our hope with you. So reach out. So that was Die Tired, and I really like that song. It's called Open Hearts Club, and they're going to be on the show on February the 25th. So I'm looking forward to those new songs that they're going to have coming out, and an interview with them and kind of talking through, how they got started, what they're up to, what's going on. So I'm looking forward to that interview. I've got a couple other really interesting interviews coming up too in December. One of them is with Robert. I'm not going to say his last name right now because I'm going to get it wrong, but he wrote a kind of a narrative about the first African American Medal of Honor recipient. It's posthumous, and he wrote it basically for the family of the service member that passed. He was very passionate about it, and when we were at the MIC conference in Atlanta, he tried to get his message out to anybody that he could talk to because he was so passionate about that. And when I say I like guests that are passionate about what they do, he's definitely got a passion, and he definitely is in support of getting the word out about this soldier that was so brave and acted so valiantly in Vietnam. So I'm really excited to hear his story. Oh, also, if somebody knows Moses Braveheart, I really want to talk to Moses. So shout out to Moses Braveheart. If anybody knows him, he is in a unit in, it's up north. I think it's in North Dakota. I'm not sure, but if anybody knows him, have him reach out to me. I really want to interview him on my podcast. So just putting that out there just in case somebody knows him. I'm going to reach out to the unit next because, there's going to be no stone unturned. So I wanted to tell you about perspective today, too. That's something else. I'm going to keep playing a couple of the artists I'm going to have on the show, but I wanted to talk about perspective. So perspective. Today, I got a message at work from an email that I'd sent. And the perspective was that they thought that I didn't think that somebody was capable of doing something when in fact that couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. So what I wanted to tell everybody, or kind of like reiterate, is when you send something, the context is everything. So if somebody doesn't have all the context and they're reading it kind of out of context, out of your mindset, out of your frame of reference, they may not take it the way you intended, and you may have to circle back and say, look, I didn't mean that at all. That's not my way of thinking. And I'm sorry if that's the communication you heard out of my email, but that wasn't what I intended to say. So it just it goes to show that, beyond the headlines we had on Sunday, and we're putting the headlines into perspective. That's kind of one of the things I'm putting into perspective, is the thought that somebody reads something you write and you never intend it to be a certain way, and they read it totally different than what you were intending. And so then you have to circle back with them and say, hey, I'm sorry if you misread or I miscommunicated my message to you. So it's all about communication. It's all about clarity, and it's all about meaning what you say and saying what you mean. So just a note to self for me for next time: be clear, be concise, and don't miscommunicate. You don't want to frustrate people unnecessarily. I wanted to also play Cynthia Rouse. She's going to be on the show, and her dad is a veteran, an Army veteran, of course. Whoa. And she's going to be on the show, and she's going to, I don't know if she'll play anything. I hope so. But I've been really excited to have her, and I've really been trying to schedule her, but her schedule's pretty busy. And so she is going to be on the show, and I'll get the date for you after we hear her song. So this is Coming Home, and it's about veterans, of course.
I'm about as far as I'm going. Welcome home. I'm sure your family and all your friends are going to be glad to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Walking these old dirt road side streets, looking at the sights and reminiscing, wondering what's changed since I've been gone. I'm coming home. It's like yesterday that I left here. Time flies and now it's been years, but I know this is where I belong.
Hey, Grandpa.
I'm coming home. Coming home to the family, the friends and the memories, the ones I love and the ones I regret. Coming back to make a new life, built on the one I left behind. Thank God it wasn't over yet. We're not made to live this life alone, so I'm coming home. Fear almost stopped me from returning. Thought others won't forgive the bridges burning, but I'm planning to rebuild what is gone now that I'm home. And I know it won't be the same that it was, but that's okay, 'cause I will always love this place and the ones who call it home. Yeah, that's my home. Coming home to the family, friends and the memories, the ones I love and the ones I regret. Coming back to make a new life, built on the one I left behind. Over, yeah. We're not made to live
Welcome back to Tracer Rounds on MBR, where we're giving veterans a voice. She is going to be on my show. That's Cynthia Roush, and she's going to be on my show on March 25th. So we'll look forward to hearing from her. I found her on Facebook, and she comes from Kansas, and that song was filmed at the first place that they had a Veterans Day celebration in its current form, in a Veterans Day, not Armistice Day, in Emporia, Kansas. So you'll see that Veterans Memorial that was all in Emporia, and that was the place of the first Veterans Memorial in the US, so it was in Kansas. So I thought that was a pretty neat thing for Veterans Day that she rolled out that song, she wrote it and rolled it out, and that it was filmed in a place where Veterans Day officially started, when it was no longer called Armistice Day and it was Veterans Day. So I thought that was a pretty neat way to roll that out and to highlight Kansas for being the first to have that celebration there. I also wanted to talk about, what did I want to talk about? Oh, geez. It's a Monday on a Tuesday. I'm just saying. The whole day has been like this. I have Joe Muse coming back up on the show. He was my very first guest. And I tell you what, my very first guest, we struggled with the interview because my equipment was so poor that and I was on hotel Wi-Fi because I was doing it while I was on military duty. And so it was lagging so bad. So I feel like I owe him another interview where he could actually like not be long distance and we're not waiting for the signal to relay like we're across the ocean. So he will be back on my show, and I will be happy to see him again. And thank you, Into the Weeds. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining, everybody. I know I'm just a solo pony tonight, but I'm really hoping my guest shows up because I really want to hear his story about the donkeys, the tractor, and the hay rake. I think it'd be awesome. So I wanted to talk about perspective too. We were talking a little bit about it on Sunday about women veterans and how typically if there's a husband around that, or maybe even if there's not, maybe it's just the female, and um, you're saying you have military service, or they're like, oh yeah, where's your husband or where's your boyfriend? Well, I faced that over the weekend, which I was kind of surprised at. I went to the American Legion because I am a national member, but I wanted to pay my membership for a local post because I had never officially joined a post. So I went there and they were going to have a meeting. So it was full, like it was full of people. And it, unfortunately, it was what you'd think American Legion would be, a bar. It kind of was. It was smoky and they were serving. It was 12 o'clock on a Sunday and they were already serving beers up. And, there was probably some pool playing and some football watching, and that's all good. But I went up there to pay my membership dues. And the bartender just happens to be the membership clerk too, apparently. And so she was like, "What do you want to do, honey?" And I said, "Well, I was wanting to pay my membership dues. I was told to come up here and pay my dues." And she said, "Oh, yeah, auxiliary, right?" And then I was like, I didn't say anything right away. And then she looks down at my ID card and she goes, "Oh, you're the veteran. Okay. Yeah, no, it's membership for you." And I was like, "Yes, ma'am, it is." So I think it's funny. And I realize that we're still a minority in the service. And so it's not as often that people will think about females being the veteran. If there's a couple involved, they usually think the male is. I still get mail here at the house that thinks that I'm not the veteran and I'm the spouse, and so I should get spousal benefits or whatnot. But so it's kind of funny. It's perspective. I guess you have a stereotype of what a veteran looks like, but as we all know, we come in all shapes and sizes and all demographics. So a veteran, you can't. Well, you may be able to tell a veteran by their look, but I have to tell you, I'm telling on myself now, but during basic training in AIT, the guys, they could not get away with being out and doing something stupid on the local economy when we got a pass. They could not get away with nothing. because their haircut gave them away every time. Like it was a dead giveaway who was a private in just in basic training or AIT. Like you stuck out like a sore thumb. But the females, however, they could put their hair down and they could go incognito and not really be noticed as much unless we just happened to do something that would be a telltale sign. So when we went to the mall or something like that, we could be acting a fool if we wanted to, but the guys, if they act a fool, Green Thunder came after them. And I don't know if your basic training had Green Thunder, but mine did. So Green Thunder was on patrol every weekend to see privates being dumb out on the economy or being crazy or, just doing something they knew they shouldn't do. And so Green Thunder, would always look for the males and find them because they had a stereotype, obviously, of males. But females were a little harder for them to detect. So they knew, though, that if there was soldiers, guys, males around with haircuts, and there were some females close by, probably they were together from the base or the post or wherever we were coming from. Because we travel in packs because got to have a battle buddy when you go somewhere. You got to stay hooked up with your battle to make sure everyone's going to get home and are back to post safely. So I will have to say that stereotype is okay with me because we didn't get in so much trouble and got to hang out and kind of do what we wanted to do without too much overwatch by Green Thunder. And when I say Green Thunder was the drill sergeants who had the unfortunate duty to round up all the loose stragglers and those that are acting crazy of the basic training company or of the AIT that we were in. Let's see, I've got some comments. So Red wants us to go on a cruise. Hopefully, a lot of our listeners will join me on the Veterans Day cruise next year. I know he was out having fun and we were working. What's up with that? He's always on vacation. I think we need to join Red. That's what I think we need to do. This year, wouldn't believe the percentage of veterans that were female. Very well represented. Well, that's good to hear. There's more of us now. But when I joined the military, we were kind of talking about it a little bit too. On Sunday on Beyond the Headlines. But when I joined and I was on delayed entry because they didn't have a basic training scheduled quite yet when I joined, but they wanted to make sure they don't lose you because they've got someone on the hook, and the recruiters have a quota, and if they don't meet the quota, they're in trouble. So we had delayed entry dinner, and there was a bunch of us at this dinner, and we were hearing about, how the military is going to be, when we're going to ship. We were kind of trying to build relationships, building that community. And some guy came to me and he goes, "What's a girl like you doing here? Girls like you don't join the military." And I just sat there and I went, huh. So what's a girl like me is what I wondered. And so when I had my operations song done by Dawson Edwards, he took that line and he made that the title, "A Girl Like You." So he made that into a title of a song, which I thought was pretty darn cool. I don't think I have it here to play, though. I think I must have taken it out. Oh, no, I do have it. So I'm going to play "A Girl Like You." So, this isn't the very first time it's been played. It's the second time. But I'm going to go ahead and play it. Oh, let's see. We got a comment. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, hi, MJ. So MJ says, "Women of strong will." Yeah, doggone right. All right. Oh, and Bradley says the guy was flirting with me. I don't think so. I think he was genuinely shocked, is what I think. I think he was genuinely shocked. Like, what are you doing here? Like, why? I don't know, but I just thought it was funny so that's the line in the song. So we're going to play the song right quick. And Dawson Edwards wrote this for me as part of Operation Song, and they were one of my guests. And so if any hosts or anybody, family member that would benefit from having a song written about their service. So mine's not so much of a service connected song necessarily. It's more just like I would say kind of country pop ish, if that makes sense. But they will write a song that really is based on your service and based on events that you tell them and based on something that the story you want told. So, I don't feel like I really have a story to tell. So Dawson created this song for me, and it has the line in the song, and it's called A Girl Like You. So we're going to play that now.
You're as pretty as a picture on the cover of a magazine. You ain't ever seen a sunset you don't like, and you don't leave me hanging around this little old town, wondering what you're doing right now. I don't know how. A boy like me got a girl like you wrapped around his finger with every little move you make. Is making me fall in love with everything you do. Had a boy like me get a girl like you. Yeah, you love that flag, stand up for the red, white, and blue. Grew up on a farm doing the things your daddy taught you to. Like how to really work, love the Lord, go to church, give it all you got, make the best out of words. Yeah, don't know how. Boy like me got a girl like you wrapped around his finger with every little move you make. Is making me fall in love with everything you do. A boy like me get a girl like you. Get a girl like you. Girl like you is a once in a lifetime, wearing army green, shooting tracers through the night sky. Loves her football, Idaho draw, everything you'd want. Had a boy like me get a girl like you, wrapped around his finger with every little move you make. Is making me fall in love with everything you do. Had a boy like me get a girl like you. Yeah, get a girl like you.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hi, welcome back to Tracer Rounds, and I'm your host, Terry. And that song was by Dawson Edwards, written for me with part of Operation Song. And so any veteran can apply to get their song made. And they can apply for a family member too. So just go to operationsong.com, I believe, and have a song made. So that song, he took words that I said and experiences and put them all to words. And he is a country singer by trade. Obviously, you can tell by the accent. And he was on my show probably a month and a half ago, I'm guessing. And he is the stage manager for Travis Tritt. And they were actually here in town when just before he came on the show, but I wasn't able to go. We had priorities at work, and so I wasn't able to take off, but I would have loved to see. Travis Tritt is a big veteran and Army all services supporter, And so that's kind of cool too. But so I told him, I said, I love seeing tracers through the night sky. And he put that in there because tracers are kind of my thing. I love tracers. But tracers, if you don't know kind of why I chose tracers as the name, is because, it shows the path of rounds traveled. So it shows where you're going. And you are able to course correct if you're not shooting in the right area, if you're not hitting your target, the tracers give you an opportunity to see where you're at or expose the enemy. And in which case, they're valuable for that. But really, it's about finding your target. And so, really, what this show is about is finding your target in your niche, in your business, whatever you do, or in your life. Just kind of shooting at where you want to be. Just looking ahead and not looking back, because if you don't close the chapter behind you and start a new one, then you're always constantly replaying the same chapter over and over. And on Sunday, when we were talking about the box I got in the mail with my retirement um, information in it, I don't officially retire until December 8th. And I'll retire after 33 and a half years of service to this great nation. And when I looked at the box, I was like, man, is this it? Is this all I get? And then I had to look at it and I go, well, you know what? I have a box full of memories that I guess Bradley wants to join in because he keeps asking. So I'm thinking, I guess I got to let him. I got to let him join in. But yeah, hold on, Bradley. I'll send you a link if I can get it sent real quick. Hold on. So anyway, I wanted to talk about perspective. And so that box full of, like, thank you for your service. Thank you for, thank you for being a part of the military. And thank you for, hold on one sec. So, just thank you for being a soldier or giving your time and your service to this nation. But then I thought about it. You know what? That box had so many memories in it that it's just like not everybody gets that chance and that experience and that opportunity. So if you don't look at it like going forward instead of going back, like that's the chapter closed. Well, it might be that chapter that's done, but there's another chapter waiting for you. That's not the only chapter. So when you're looking at things from the lens of, is that it? Or half glass, half empty, half full, you can see that there's a way to flip it, as MJ would say, and she's in here. So I'm sure she would agree that. And I have a guest, Mr. Bradley, Corporal Jackson. Hello, Corporal Jackson.
Oh, I think I have some background going on. Hold on, let me kill that. My apologies. I was listening to you on Facebook at the same time. I'm so sorry. Darlene, please do me a favor and continue because you had it dead on. Please continue.
So when you're looking at what's going on, you have to think about, yes, that was a chapter, and yes, that was good, and do you want it to end? Maybe not. But there's always something out there on the horizon. So you have to look on the horizon. You have to shoot your tracer round out and see where it's going to land. So tracers are very important if you think about it in perspective of deciding and determining the path of your future. Tracers are what's going to get you there, because you're going to see the path of round fired. I can't even talk. Good grief, I'm all tongue.
Can I add a little bit in there, because it's actually on
Absolutely.
the opposite side of that.
Well, go ahead. I'm happy to hear.
Because not every time your tracer hits
That's
do you
true.
hit your target.
That's true. That's why you have to adjust.
With tracer rounds, I know what you're doing, my dear. I love you to death. I love your voice. I love your energy. I love what you do. I love who you are. However, I do have to complain about one thing.
Go
Not
ahead.
complain, but hey, we're here to give everybody a voice. And my God, I hope I don't screw this up. Not every time your tracer hits are you going to hit a target.
True.
Sometimes you're aiming here,
Mm-hmm.
but your target is over there.
Yes.
And now in life, you throw a tracer out. Now in the military, it's every 3 to 5 in a belt, right? If you're on a belt fed, you're on a, Golf or Bravo. For those that don't understand, a light machine gun, every 3 to 5 rounds, roughly, they would put tracer rounds in and they would fire and you would see where the rounds go. Now with a 50 cal, it was maybe 1 every 20 because let's just be honest. I have to say this in a way that everybody can accept it. We didn't give Alpha Foxtrot. I think that works. Yeah.
That works.
And then with a Mark 19, well, there were no tracers. It's just a flying grenade. So we really didn't give Alpha Foxtrot. However, with tracers in life, not in combat. Pardon me. My apologies. Tracers in life. You throw a tracer out. Now, your tracer might be throwing your resume out to the company that you've wanted to work for 10 years.
Right.
You're in your late 20s. And you finally come up with that energy, that esprit de corps. You have pride in yourself. And you don't get it. Just because that tracer didn't hit its mark doesn't mean that the next one won't.
Exactly.
And I think, no offense to you, darling, Terry, I love you. You know better. I love you. Everybody in this channel, I love them. And everybody apparently loves my voice. So I'm here. All right. I'm just here. Okay. I'm just the voice of MBR. All right. But you guys, you bring up wonderful things at wonderful times for the right reason. And what you were saying, it was dead on. I told you when I came in, I just finished. Because you were getting, come on. Woo-saw, right? We're gonna woo-saw this one. We're just gonna take a real deep in through the nose, out through the mouth. But in life, as a veteran, and we're talking to all human beings.
Right. Exactly.
However, we're specifically speaking to veterans, members of our armed forces that have gotten out and they're not able to catch on to the hooks and loops and BS that comes along with civilian life. And the problem is you're not gonna catch it right away. And I'm being very honest with you. I got out of the military and it took me, I got out in 2004 after OIF. I think it took me 3 years. It was 2006, 2007 before I started to catch on. And I was pretty much unemployed. I wasn't in college. I wasn't going to school. I wasn't going to trade schools. I did nothing with all the education that I got in the military.
Yeah.
But what you need to remember is if you're listening to this and you've been out for the last 3, 4, 5 years and you're like just drinking it away and whatever, some states are legal, you can smoke it away. I can't talk negatively because, but if you're negative about your outcome, always think about what happens if. Think about that next step.
Yeah.
If at the end of that step is negative, never think about it. Think about family, friends, brothers, sisters, your military brothers and sisters. Let's go to the let's go to the you're gonna when you get out there on the barracks and knock on a door and knock, knock, knock. I need to talk to you. And a lot of guys and girls, men and women, either way, they won't do that in the military, but a lot of them do.
Mm-hmm.
But they do it in ways that we never see. So I'm telling you 100%, this happens. I literally went to my duty NCO one night after I got a divorce. I was back in the barracks and I was having a bit of a fit. And I literally went downstairs in my silkies and my tea, and I went and I talked to a duty NCO corporal.
Mm-hmm.
I think I talked to him for over an hour, and he had been through the same exact thing.
Yeah.
That mental point of connection that I don't even my words are everywhere in my brain, and being able to mentally and emotionally connect with somebody, whether it resolves your issue or not, is everything.
Yes, it is. You're right.
I love the fact that this channel, MBR, we've been around for a little bit now. We have some of the most wonderful people on the back end. Nobody sees it, nobody hears about it, but we have the most wonderful chats. We have the most wonderful conversations.
Yeah.
And it
Community.
is the most wonderful, beautiful, heartwarming, God-loving thing
Yeah.
that I've ever seen.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I literally just jumped in and I took over. You know what, darling? I am so sorry. I'm going to shut up for a bit
You didn't.
because you need to get back on with what you were doing.
No, I appreciate the perspective because that's what this kind of what this night is about. Since I didn't get my guest to come on, either one of them really, but the other one was just trying to do me a favor. He's like, you've done favors for me. I owe you something. I'm like, you owe me nothing, friend. If you can come on, you can come on. If you can't, you can't. It's all good. It's like I understand life happens, and you adjust fire and you try again. So, but this really is about putting things in perspective. Just because your day doesn't work out just exactly like you thought it should, or your night, or you don't get the job, like you said, you may send out 10 different resumes and you come back with one interview and you still don't get the job, and the other 9 resumes say, well, thanks, but no thanks to you, with a email reply. And that's just the way it is. But that just means that job wasn't meant for you. It wasn't what you needed and what you should have. And so you just got to keep trying, because just because the first 10 aren't successful doesn't mean the next 10 won't be, or the next one, or the next 2, how many ever it is.
All you need is one
Yes, you just need one. Yes.
thing coming through in your favor. It's
Yes.
like, I mean, you go get a bunch of dollar scratchers from the local gas station.
Right. Yes.
You buy 20 of them. How many do you need that actually work out? Just one.
That's
Now,
right.
if you get more than one, that's wonderful.
Right.
Same
Yeah.
way when
Absolutely.
all of us were in high school.
More than one.
When all of us were in high school and we were putting out college acceptance, demands really is what they were. We
Mhm.
were demanding you had to have this and that, but then you saw the recruiter. Ooh, wow. I don't have to get my priest or my pastor or my professors or my doctors to do a damn thing to get into that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There is a path for everybody. Like, there is a path.
Yeah.
And when it comes to working in this world that we're in currently, it might be difficult. I'm going to be honest. I will be honest. Most of us have a certain mentality, and it might be difficult. But if you have the skills and you have the training, you have the education, hell, you've been in the military for 25 years working on top secret whatever, you're going to get a job.
Yeah.
You just got to keep pushing forward.
Right. No, I totally agree. I I used to be disappointed and let down when something like that would happen. I'd be like, like the world sucks. But the world really doesn't suck, and really there is a silver lining to everything. Because some jobs, after you would have had them, you probably wouldn't have liked them. They wouldn't have been for you. So you just have to understand that sometimes it doesn't go your way, and there's reasons. Just like when you're held up for 5 minutes or 10 minutes in a traffic jam. Well, you don't know what didn't happen to you because you weren't 10 minutes ahead of where you are right now.
You might have been in the middle of that damn accident.
Exactly. So there's reasons why there's a delay, or there's reasons why there's things happening, and they're not to make you mad, but they're to like maybe save you from something you didn't even know was going to happen. You didn't have that awareness or that perspective on things. And so really and truthfully, if you look at most situations, you can find a positive if you're looking for it. You really can. And thank you, MJ, for the nice comments. And thank you all for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. And I know I'm kind of doing something I typically don't do, which is just fly solo. And now I have a co-host, and I appreciate that. But I appreciate you listening because
What am I, chop liver? What am I, chop liver over here? I
no,
like chop liver. I like the chop liver, but what am I, chop liver? You don't have a co-host. I joined in just to help you out. Come on, stop.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. So it's really about perspective. And today, like I said, today put it in perspective for me. When you talk to somebody and they don't hear the words the way that you intended them, they hear them another way, and they put them into a different perspective, and they come back with a reply that you think came out of left field, when in fact it probably didn't, because they didn't see or hear the same message that you thought you sent. So
It
it's
came
all
back in the manner that they thought it came to them.
exactly. And so, that really gave me pause, and really gave me an opportunity to reflect and go, okay, maybe I need to really sit down and focus this communication in such a concise manner there can be no confusion. So
Right.
that's really an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for understanding, and an opportunity for, you to hone in your skills.
That
So
also works in a relationship.
yes,
I
yes,
can use 3 words and they come across many different ways. Love you. Hey, babe, I love you. But if we had a fight earlier in the morning and she's going off for a 10-hour day of work, right? She's
yeah.
walking out the door right over there.
Mhm.
And I go, yeah, love you. Eh, eh, love you.
Yeah.
What does that portray to her in feeling and love and energy? It doesn't push anything towards her, right? She's coming back with, man, he's pissed at me, or
Right.
oh, I'm just gonna have a horrible. She literally walks out the door and I'm gonna have a horrible day. But if, even though 20 minutes ago we had a scuff about something stupid in the house, but I look at her, I look her dead in the eyes, and I make sure she comes up, I get a kiss, and I go, I love you.
Right.
Those same 3 words
Yeah.
can mean 2 different things.
Of course, yeah. I mean, because bless your heart can mean something totally not.
Well, no, darling. What you're saying is, in the South, what they gonna say is, "Oh, bless your heart." That means you a idiot. Okay, we gonna be very honest about the South right now, because when a good old Southern Christian woman looks at you in the business and she says, "Oh, bless your heart, darling," she's calling you a idiot. Okay, let's just be very honest.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm sorry. I
But if you're from the
gotta
north,
I gotta keep the voices to a limit here.
but if you're from the north, you don't understand that
Oh
philosophy
no,
or
you
that
know.
context, and so you go, "Oh yeah, she's so sweet." You're like,
No, she
she didn't
telling
say
you to rot in hell because you're an idiot. Okay, let's
she didn't
just be
say
very
anything.
honest here.
She did. Well, we've only got about 4 minutes left. Is there anything you want to put out there into the MBR channel that you haven't already put out?
You're giving me the con.
For a minute, yeah. For
Well,
like 2 minutes, yeah.
God bless all of our radio hosts. God bless everyone that supports us.
Amen to that.
That's all I got to say. That's it. God bless them all. I took 20 seconds. You got the rest. You do you. My apologies for interrupting. I know I pushed my way in here, but
it's all good. I appreciate your perspective because that's really what it's about. It's about sharing perspective with others and really seeing the other side of a conversation and hearing it from somebody else's viewpoint.
you have to live it to learn it. So
You do. And really that's what we're about here. We're about, kind of listening to understand and not just talking to be heard. We're listening to understand, and then we can respond when it's appropriate to respond. And so,
giving veterans a voice doesn't mean they're just speaking. It means that they're being listened to and somebody is understanding it. And until somebody understands it, nobody understands it.
right.
The person saying it can state it,
Yeah.
but until somebody else goes, "Oh shit, that's right," nobody understands it, because then you get the following, then you get the message across.
Yeah.
That's the problem, I think, with a lot of things in our country currently. Not going into politics or any of that, but I just think socially we have an issue with no one understands. And there's this line on a lot of things that nobody gets left or right of.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. And with veterans, it doesn't matter your political stance or your sexual stance or anything else. I don't care. You're a brother, you're a sister, you're family.
We got your 6. And we got
your
to go.
6.
We got your 6, and we've got to go because there's somebody after us. So we're giving veterans a voice, and thank you for joining Tracer Rounds on MBR. Thank you, Corporal Jackson.
Thank you, Terry.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.